Yeah, 3 times, 4 times. Doing gang things, living super clean. That done came up. Can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control us. Look at you done came up now. Get it how you live, mess the game up now. Ain't messing with yoga, but get the flame up. Hey, used to be Toby, but got your name back now. I see ya, paid under pressure. 25 lighters, got them all on the dresser. If it ain't for you, ain't for you then. If you a lame or a sucker, wanna dress you then. Grown up now, bump the childish ways. Got a wife and a bunch of kids to raise. Punch a clock side, hustle or a business you endure to ensure that all the bills is paid. Slow clap for your homeboy, could've turned out like your homeboy. Been on the same block, cooking up the same rock on the cell block lock with your homeboy. But no, you had vision, you had goal. Brand new you on the old time road, take care of home where you bust your low. Black men don't teach, screaming bump the hoe. Real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you PD grade. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the folk that have moved up. Even if you had a slow start, screwed up. Used to gang bang, now homie brewed up. Had a little plan, I had them blew up. Look at you like a man right now. Dressed to the T, smelling like a grand right now. And you ain't got nothing from a handout now. Just faith and hard work, gets it planned out now. You could've took a bunch of dusty roads. The hand dealt with a bunch of cards to fold. To stay hot while the world is freezing cold. The same plot, but the story's never old. Slow clap for your kinfolk. Could've been asking what your info. Prosecutor could be trying to do you in for the 20 twins, so you passing out the info. But no, you had purpose, you had plans. I ain't throwing nothing, I'ma say these bands won't impress y'all, don't need no fans. That ain't my God, who is that man? This real men talk, real king ways. Still in captivity, but minds ain't slave. Got a little wisdom while you peak these grades. Giving out the knowledge on the stoop these days. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. 1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that done came up. 4 times cause the man can't control up. Yeah, real man. Sheesh. Yeah. Doing gang things. Living super clean. That it came up.
1 time for my king doing king things. Mom these hoes cause you know he got a good
Phineas, Gad, Shalom, Shalom, Angelina, Shalom, and Shalom, sis.
All praises to the most high.
Thank y'all for joining me.
Sister never came, and I ain't going nowhere. This is not a game. Look at you, girl, you're lonely right now. Settling for bums instead of in the most high. He provide and protect, so he get our respect. And he leading us aboard when them chariots fly. I don't really think you hear me though. You can't cross this bridge on some billy goats. Let them save you in the end like a Seminole. Be his help me, shout let the silly go.
1 time for the men doing cane thing. Dead fresh to the T, living super clean. 3 times for my folk that came up.
Shalom and shalom, sisters and cousins, and praise the Lord saints. It's your favorite housewife, Miss Mono. Hello to you, and hello to you. There we go. Okay, I have to get my volume right. All praises to the Most High for being here. Thank y'all for joining me. When are we gonna get some new music? That question is gonna have to be directed at Mr. Monologue McGad. Actually, I do have a feature on his next album, which should be out soon. And I don't know. We've been crazy busy here, so hopefully, honey will peek in and answer that question for y'all. But we've been working over here. Please know that, okay? So again, all praise to the Most High. Thank each and every one of you for being here. You could have been anywhere in this internet, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. So today we're gonna get into the main topic, why Boaz don't want your ass, because you put him in the friend zone. And I've been through this myself. Like, I honestly almost didn't marry my husband, and I'm gonna tell y'all about that. But this came from a video I saw on TikTok, and this woman was saying that she had this wonderful man, but for some reason she just couldn't marry him. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We got some stuff and what's going on in Babylon. Wickedness of the week is packed. So let's go ahead and get started. And please like, share, subscribe, send it to your friends, send it to your family, send it to yourself. Just get me in the algorithm. If you're on YouTube and you see the little live chat button, hit the X. The thumbs up will be right there. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. If you're on my Instagram, Shalom and Shalom, please head over to the YouTube at Monologue Magad, MONOLOG MAGAD. And speaking of Monologue Magad, I always have to give the love of my life a shout out. That awesome man, the head of our household, the love of my life. Love that man. Y'all, please stream. Just hold on. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on Tidal, it's everywhere. Go ahead and stream it. Head over to the YouTube after you sit and chat with me for a little bit and look through some of the visuals from some of the music that we have. And like I said, there's new stuff coming out soon. So go ahead and get caught up now. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk about what's going on in Babylon. First thing, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's been cold everywhere. All right, but we live in the Metro ATL, and it has been a disaster. BT Dubs, if you feel like hopping into the conversation, please do go ahead and hop into the chat. And I promise I'm gonna pay attention because I know, I be tripping sometimes, but I promise I'm gonna pay attention. Okay, so the freezing temperatures have caused so many pipes to burst. We're talking about millions and dollars of damage to homeowners over the Metro Atlanta area. Now, let me tell y'all, I don't typically watch the news, right? But I've been making it a point to so that I can stay more abreast on current events. So I'm watching the news, and they have the DeKalb County. Is he like the head of the county? Whoever this, he's somebody big in the county. I want to say he's like the mayor or something. He's somebody that's supposed to be in charge, right? So they're talking to him because apparently in this area they've been just like overwhelmed with these pipes bursting more so than everywhere else. So he's like, well, actually, on less than half of it, less than half of the plumbing in the county is the government's responsibility. The other majority of the plumbing in the county is the responsibility of the private homeowners. And therefore, we're going to see people be suffering for months and years because they can't afford to get the pipes fixed. And now this is crazy. Like, you hear this man, and he obviously, the infrastructure can obviously be fixed, but like there are ways to help. This was a natural disaster. Like, if this had been a tornado or a hurricane, and then all these pipes was busting, these people would be eligible for federal aid. But because it was only freezing temperatures, which should be considered an act of God, none of us can go out and change the thermostat. Now, if you want to blame climate change and global warming, then we need to see Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and all of them. But it's just sad to me how something like this can happen, and the government is basically like, oh well, it's not our fault. We can afford to take care of your stuff. What are you going to do about yours? But here's the thing: even as a private homeowner, I still have to pay taxes. I'm still paying property tax. So why am I not eligible? Something ain't right. This place, I'm telling you, is crazy. All right, so let's move on. What else is going on in Babylon? Listen, I don't know how many of y'all heard about Cynthia Bailey. She's from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she just got her second divorce on the show. Now, Nikki, Shalom and Shalom. Thank you for joining me, sister. She just got divorced from her husband on the show. Now, she married the first one in 2010. They got divorced in 2017, right? And then she got married in 2020 to Mike Hill. And my reason for bringing this up is we got to stop looking so desperate. Like the hopping from man to man, it makes her look desperate. And I know what everybody's going to say in this age of, oh, we don't shame people. We don't do this. We don't do that. But the fact of the matter is she looks desperate. And so my reason for bringing this up is hopefully we'll look at this behavior and do everything we can from my single sisters to prevent this. As my married sisters, I'm praying that divorce is not even on your mind. It is far from your mind. So you wouldn't even be thinking about this. But to my single sisters who are out here dating, and even listen, you don't have to necessarily legally marry a man. You don't have to be going through this to look desperate. But yeah, just, put a pin in that. It's some behavior that you don't want to take part of. Okay. All right, so let's move on to wickedness of the week. And I know some of y'all are not going to like this, but that's okay. Two things I want to bring up for wickedness of the week. The first one being this festival that some of you all are getting ready to participate in this weekend. New Year's Eve / New Year's Day. Now, back in our church days, we would be in church on New Year's Eve. It would start at 9, 10 o'clock, and you would be there until 12:30, 1 o'clock. You'd have the midnight countdown and the prayer, and the pastor would prophesy that, this year was going to be your year of blessings. And he would ask for an offering that just coincidentally, this is a coincidence, that the amount of the offering would always equal the total of the year. So I imagine this year they're probably asking for $20.23 or $2,023, whatever you can come up with. So here's the thing, okay? They tell us as American descendants of slaves that the reason that we go to church on New Year's Eve is because New Year's Eve of 1862, we waited in the churches for confirmation that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed and we were going to be free, even though we weren't even, we can't even begin to start what you call freeing the slaves until about 1865. So if we were sitting up waiting, it was like jokes on us again, because even though they signed this piece of paper, you're still not free. Head your little happy self back to the plantation. What a joke is that? That is a joke, okay? So the other thing about New Year's Day that we as American descendants of slaves need to be aware of, and when I say American, I don't just mean Black American. I'm talking to my Native Americans and my Latino sisters and brothers, because you all were enslaved in this country as well. Let's get that straight, okay? So for American descendants of slaves, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day were particularly more heartbreaking. They actually called it Heartbreak Day. That's what they called it, Heartbreak Day, because between the time of Christmas and New Year's Eve, the owners would be deciding who they wanted to rent out for that year or who they wanted to sell. And even though slave auctions did take place multiple times throughout the year, this was like the big one. Especially because New Year's Day was when debts were collected. So all the people would gather in the town square. The owners would bring their slaves. The debt collectors would come to collect their debt. They would go to the slave owner to collect their debt. The slave owner would say, okay, I can give you this one, and this one. Black people, Black labor, slave labor is being used to settle their debts. And they didn't care how many families they broke up. There's one account of a mom losing all 7 of her children. She couldn't have imagined that, according to this account. But they wound up taking all 7 of her children and selling them off to other plantations. And see, I don't understand how people be like, oh, well, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was your grandparents. That was your great grandparents. And it never seems to escape my mind that only by the grace of God, they could have been us. Because if you go throughout history, it was us multiple times. So this whole, that's not me and I'm removed from that and I just want to have a good time, that's craziness to me. Because how could I not, I don't want to give into ancestor worship and say face my ancestors, but How can I, knowing who I am, what I come from, what my bloodline has been through, continue to participate in these things now that we know the truth? So I'm praying for some of y'all that are still struggling with this. I know some of y'all are still struggling with Christmas and Thanksgiving. And listen, I'm not going to say it's not an emotional struggle for me, because you had Thanksgiving was first, okay? No, my birthday comes first. My birthday is on November 20th. So it was like the whole, from November 20th to January 1st was just a time for me, because that was my birthday, then it's Thanksgiving, and it's Christmas, and it's New Year's. Okay, so I can understand the emotional attachment, but also it's like, okay, I know who I am now. I know where I come from, and I know what my people have been through. How can I continue to participate in these things, knowing that they were used to oppress and continue to abuse my people, and first and foremost, that the Most High forbids them? Okay, so let's get into that. Let's get into what was New Year's like, in the time of the Romans. Because see, here's what I think we tend to forget. Excuse me, y'all. This sweater is warm. It is comfortable, but it is warm. Here's what I think we tend to forget. Israel was not the first nation. We were not the first nation. There were other people here. If you remember, the Most High pulled Abraham out. He pulls him out. So he had to pull him out from somewhere, right? So I think that when people start talking about how things have pagan traditions, I think that we don't realize that this stuff is what was going on first. Because if it wasn't, then what was there for the Most High to pull us out of? What was there for us to be set apart from if there was not already sinfulness going on? You understand what I'm saying? So in the time of the Romans, people stayed up all night on New Year's Eve to watch out for evil spirits who they thought were seeking to roam the earth. This is what it was for. So the lights from Christmas, the lights that you put up on the tree, the lights that you put up around the house, in pagan tradition, they're used to ward off evil spirits that they believe roam the earth at this time of year. It's not for decoration. It's not to make merry and bright. These were serious spiritual practices that these people carried on. Eating pork and black-eyed peas was done to honor the god Janus. Now, the god Janus, the Roman god Janus, is their god that they believe has two heads. He looks back to the past and forward to the future. That's why January is called January. It's in honor to the god Janus. Okay. And his wife was named Karna, Carna. And if it sounds like carnal, that's not a coincidence, because Karna is the goddess of human organs. Okay. So these two were supposedly mythical husband and wife. They ate fava beans and pork bacon. The peas were used to symbolize the rebirth, and the pork, check this out, the pork was the preferred sacrifice of their gods. Now, mind you, even back then, pigs were eating trash and crap, okay? But this is what their gods wanted. Okay. Like, we're not going to get into that, because that's disgusting. That's what your gods want, and you gave it to them. All right. Jarrell, shalom and shalom. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so you're not just celebrating a day on the calendar. This is a whole worship to another god. If you ever sit down and look at these festivals and how they go on and the things that are done, there's singing, there's celebrating, people are shouting and dancing. If you put them in a church building, but we won't see the connection. And I don't know why. I don't. Well, I know why, because it's fun and we get caught up. But I'm praying, please listen, y'all. 2023 is not the year to be playing. Putin ain't playing. Bezos ain't playing. Gates ain't playing. Soros ain't playing. Santos ain't playing. Biden ain't playing. These people are not playing with us. And we, as God's people, it's time for us to wake up and realize what's going on. You have to take a stand. It's getting worse and worse every year. You have to begin to take a stand. we got to cut this out. So I'm praying that, hopefully y'all can reach somebody, or even if it's you that's struggling with it, that maybe you'll just, examine it, give it some thought, pray about it, and come up out of that, hopefully. Keep the chef, shalom and shalom. I ain't see you in a minute, cousin. How you doing? Okay, so buckle up for this next one. The Cambridge Dictionary. And this is Googleable after you watch this, or if you have another device, please feel free to Google it. But the Cambridge Dictionary has decided to change the definition of woman and man for this as of 2022. They redo the dictionary. So the definition of woman, they left the first definition of woman, a person born a female. They left that one. But now there's a second definition that says an adult who lives and identifies as a female, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. And I don't know what they mean by different sex, because there's only one other option. Okay? So you can be identified as a man at birth. And now, according to, and see here, the thing about the Cambridge Dictionary, it's like this is considered the standard for the English language. Okay. So when they're teaching people, from what I gather from reading, when they're teaching people English as a second language, this is where they're coming to for their definitions. And it even said that they've determined that this is the best way to identify and to identify these terms for English speakers. So this is what they're going around telling people. Again, I read an article and they were talking about Brittany Griner, but they tried to compare Brittany Griner's incident to an incident with a reporter who was arrested in Qatar for wearing a rainbow t-shirt. Qatar is a Muslim nation. They do not tolerate homosexuality in Qatar. You cannot do that. This man was arrested for that. And now all of a sudden they want us to support him like he supported Brittany Griner. First of all, sir, that wasn't no accident. He wore that shirt on purpose because his brother is gay. So he felt like he was going to go and support the community in this country where it was illegal. And the spokesman for the country said, we are not going to let the West come in and pollute our people with these thoughts. That is not allowed here. It's not allowed. And here's the audacity of it. It's the audacity of, oh, you're going to accept it. I'm going to do this and you're going to accept it. And let me tell y'all something. It occurs to me, okay, that the Most High chose the rainbow as his symbol to say, I will never destroy humanity again after the flood. So now these people choose to use that same rainbow as their symbol. And if you don't see that as a mockery, I do. I see that as a mockery, because it's like, ha ha, you can't get us. Remember, you promised you wouldn't do that to us again. And they parade around. And here's the thing. And I remember when I was younger in the 90s, we were warned about this. We were warned incessantly. Yes, he got to be coming back soon. He has to be, because they are turning this world into chaos. Into chaos. I forgot what I was gonna say, y'all. I was on the thought. I forgot it. Okay, so anyway, that's the wickedness of the week. It's becoming, it's like they're trying to just homogenize everything. They don't want any lines. They don't want any boundaries. It's just everything, let's blob together. Oh, and this is what I was getting ready to say. I remember in the 90s when there were preachers who were not afraid to preach hellfire and brimstone. Okay. This is before you were getting kicked off social media. This is before banning. This is before all this stuff. They were warning us that pedophilia was next. They were warning us that with all these sexual perversions being allowed to come in, that soon they were going to be coming for the children. And don't you know it? Now they are coming for the children. We can just look at this recent Balenciaga incident and see that. But let's go back to Jeffrey Epstein. Let's go This has been going on forever. Okay. Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash. I hate to say it. There were black musicians who were, you see how I'm whispering like, but my thing is, it starts in the dark, right? And as it starts to come out, more and more of the darkness is coming out. You give the devil an inch, he's going to want to take a mile. So now it's like, well, since their perversion is okay, my perversion should be okay too. If it's okay for them to do it, why can't I do it? And I'm getting off this subject, but let's go here. This is the problem. This is the problem with freedom of religion. And I'm gonna be real with it, okay? And I dare to say, because I'm not 100% sure, but from my knowledge, the freedom of religion that was established in this country was not established by other people coming to this country looking to practice their religion. It was established by Satanists who did not want the presence of God in their children's schools. I remember when this mother was petitioning the Supreme Court not to have prayer in schools. I remember when we stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance because it said one nation under God. I remember, witnessing this as I'm growing up, these gradual steps to put God in the Bible far away from our children. And now you have pedophiles running the schools and shipping children off, and FedEx drivers kidnapping kids out the driveway, but that's not a problem. And even for us who are spiritually aware, pray for your kids. Pray for the kids around them. Listen, I'm telling y'all, I don't want to send. I pray to the Most High that I never have to send my boys for public education. I pray I never have to, because I can't trust them from the instruction that they give to the way they treat my child. I can't trust you in any area because I know you're here indoctrinating my child with this whitewashed, white savior, Americanized brand of quote unquote education. It's not just at Christmas and it's not just at Thanksgiving. I know we go to school around these times, Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and we see the decorations, Halloween, and we see the decorations, and they're like, oh, I don't want my kid to be a part of this. Ma'am, sis, cousin, they're indoctrinating your child every day. Every day they're indoctrinating your child. Every day they're explaining to your child why they are less than and how they came from nothing. Every day they're telling your child, oh, you should look up to this person, even though they hated your people and killed and murdered you and kidnapped you. You should still look up to them. This is what they're teaching your kids in school. This is why I homeschool my children. This is why. And no matter the alternative, as long as it's connected to that public education system, you're going to be receiving the same misinformation. Misinformation. They put it in everything. My kids were doing a workbook, and there was they had to solve math problems, and then the numbers matched the letters. They had to solve the little puzzle, and it was like, what didn't the Pilgrims bring me? What does that have to do with 15 plus 15 equaling 30? I don't know. But anyway, please like, share, subscribe the YouTube channel, share with a friend, turn on your notifications so you know when we go live. We've been busy. I don't know if y'all seen the puppies. I wish I could put a picture up here for y'all to see them, but head on over to Mono's Westside Bullies and you can definitely take a look at them. I try to post them often. We did a big box clean and cleaned them today, so they're all fresh and smelling as good as a puppy can smell. All right, so y'all, I wanted to talk to y'all about something a little sensitive for my ladies. So brothers, if you're offended, I'm sorry, but please, this is for my sisters. I have to put this out there. I know that we live in a day and time when there's a product for everything, right? So much so that there are even products that they claim are good for our vaginal health. And I'm here to beg you not to be putting all that stuff in your secret place. Simply for the fact that it doesn't go there. I mean, it doesn't. Now, if you're on medication or something, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the the boric acid tablets. I'm talking about the honey pot products, these yoni steams, the yoni pearls. Keep that stuff outside of your body. It does not belong in there. Okay. Now, let me say this. Some of you, and I've had personal conversations with women who's like their periods are changing and it catches them off guard and it's a mess. Or they may have discharge and they don't know what to do about it. So let me tell y'all about panty liners, okay? And I meant to bring my box because I have a box upstairs. I keep them, okay? But they're panty liners, PANTILINERS. You can Google it. I use the Carefree unscented ones. Listen, wear these every day, okay? You wear them every day. They help to absorb any discharge or any unpleasantness that you may be experiencing as far as an odor. Now, let me say, if you are having an unpleasant odor, please carry yourself to the doctor because you don't know what it is. Don't just assume that it's a YI or a BV. And I'm just saying this because I'm not trying to gross the brothers out that are listening. But don't just assume it's a YI or a BV, especially if this is your first one or you're a little younger and you're not familiar with your body. I'm 42. Okay. So pretty much figure out what's going on. But or even if you're just not sure. But please invest in, they're not expensive at all. Get the unscented ones. If you want to use the natural ones, that's fine. I tend to stay away from the natural cotton products only because they don't seem to absorb as well. Okay, but you know, whatever you need. But please, just a little something to help y'all out. And I am going to be coming with more girl talk topics because I just realized, you know, in this day and time, I take it for granted because my mother was a hygiene stickler. Like my mother was the kind of person that we'd be walking through the mall parking lot. She would jack me up against somebody's car if she thought I smelled. I mean, lifting my arms up, all up in my armpits in front of everybody. She ain't care. She did not care. And she would broadcast, "Is that you smelling like that, ma'am? It's not me, but thank you for telling everybody." You know what I mean? My mom was that kind of mom. We took showers twice a day, at least. Brush your teeth in the morning. Don't come to her kitchen without your toothbrush. You know, my mom was very strict on these things. And as I've gotten older, I realized that maybe some people weren't as fortunate to be as educated in that area. So this is something I want to, you know, share with you guys. Especially for our younger sisters. Okay. So have y'all seen the I don't have a segment for this, and I wasn't gonna talk about it because I wasn't sure, but the anchors from Good Morning America, man, they are really going through it. Like TJ Holmes and his wife filed for divorce. Who didn't see that coming? It's crazy. But anyway, okay, so the main topic. You friend zoned him. Why Boaz don't want your ass? Because you friend zoned him. Now I got this because scrolling the internet as usual, and there was a young lady, and she was saying how she had the perfect guy. He was a man of God. He was nice to her. He was polite to her family. He was just awesome guy. Proposed to her and everything. Wanted to marry her. Wanted to be, you know, the one. And she said the reason she couldn't marry him is because she didn't feel the connection. She didn't feel there was a connection. Like she gave Buddy the ring back or something. And please hop in this conversation if y'all want to. All right, so she gave Buddy the ring back. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel connected." Now, here's the thing, okay? When you start to move away from the thuggery, okay, you're not going to get the same adrenaline rush that you used to. And let me explain. And let me say, this was my past life, okay? So let's just keep that in mind. When you when you go for a certain kind of man, there are things that are going to come with this, okay? And especially if he's not trying to do you right. Let me add that. And let me explain. A man that is trying to do you right wants you aware, he wants you conscious, he wants you fully taking it in because he wants to make sure that you're going to do him right the way he intends to do you right. If this is a good man, he wants to make sure that he's investing in a good woman, as he should, right? But, and however, Mams's cousin, a lot of us make the mistake of chasing after the fast and the flash and the thrill. And this type of man comes with a different type of emotional response. Okay. This type of man is going to keep you chasing him. He's never going to come and sit and spend a lot of time with you. He'll come and have dinner. He might take you home. He might even stretch you out. Okay. But then after that, he's going to get up and leave. Why? Because he always has to leave you wanting more. So he's never going to let you leave him, but he'll get up and leave you to leave you wanting more. He always has to be the first one to get off the phone. He's so busy, he can't answer the phone. Every time you text him, it's an hour, 2 hours the next day before he texts back. And then when he do text back, it's like, oh, okay, he liked me. That creates a dopamine response. I don't know if y'all understand that. That sends adrenaline. That creates a dopamine response. You're doing things. This person is disappointing you, and then they're picking you back up. You get a high off of that, right? He pushes you low, then he plays with you to bring you high emotionally. I mean, you guys, he you know what I mean? He gets you up. You get used to that, right? And he gives you all these excuses. So you use the excuses to excuse his disappointment. Oh, well, he's busy, or he got to do this, or he got to do that. Ma'am, sis, cousin, the first thing I want to say about that is don't ever let anybody make you feel like their life is more important than yours. If he's too busy to pick up the phone, then you should be too busy to answer it. But anyway, let's keep going. Right? And in these relationships, you never move forward. Okay? If you stop and think about it, every relationship that you have had, it's not reality at all. Fact, it's not. It's not sustainable. That's no way to have a relationship. And if you think about it, in those types of relationships, you're never moving forward. You're only always going in circles. Think about it. Y'all cool, he'll take you out. He might spend a day or two with you, but then he disappear for 2 or 3 days. So by that third or fourth day, now you sitting in the long essay text messages. Don't ever call me again. I'm so tired of this. You can stay out there with your hoes. Da 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 da. So now he know what? Oh, I got her. Oh, this is entertaining. How do I know it's entertaining? Because sometimes I've been on the other side of this. So I'm telling you personally, I know it's fun. This is the game. It's the game like, look at that. Come on, don't say y'all never did it, okay? Don't say y'all never did it, because I've done it. Purposely waited for him to come see how long it take this nigga to call. Okay, and they do it too, right? So then what he do? He come over, he stretch you out, you back in love. He might give you another day or a couple of hours, but then he gone again. And you keep going through this over and over again. And y'all might stop talking for a week or two. Like he just might get frustrated with you. And y'all stop talking for a week or two. But then he pop himself up. And what happens? Your legs spread right back open. And you're right back in the same situation you were in. When you keep doing this for so long, this is what you start to expect. You try to tell yourself, okay, I can have these emotional waves and be happy, and that's not true. That's not true. The man that's good for you, he's going to be stable and consistent. He's going to call you every day or however much you need. You may not need every day. You might sound like, bruh, which I think is weird, because if you like me, you should be calling me every day. He's going to do that. He's going to find out what you like and he's going to give it to you. You're not going to have to send him no long essay text messages because he's going to be there when you call him. He's going to be there when you need him. You're not going to have to go out looking for him. There's not going to be this big disappointment. This relationship is going to move forward. You're going to meet his family. You're going to meet his friends. You're going to go to church together or wherever you go to assembly. He's going to bring you around the people that are important to him because you're important to him and he wants confirmation. Trying to think of a name here just to go off the rip. Hakeem and him, he not taking you nowhere because he don't care. You're not important. He does not care. He don't care what nobody think of you. He might take you around his boys just so they know, hey, this the one I'm smashing. Don't touch her. That's it. Oh, you thought he was taking you around to show you off or something because he loved you? No, ma'am, sis cousin. Yes, he wanted to show you off, but he wanted to show you off to tell them this one is mine. Don't touch her. And he don't care to tell the rest of the world, yep, and after so long, the good man comes in, it's just a rebound until they wake up. Exactly. And that's so sad. So sad. The one that comes in to help heal you, that's the one you call too nice. Oh, he too soft. Oh, I'll run all over him. Why is that even in your thoughts? Why is it a thought for you to want to run all over somebody? Oh, I'll run his pockets. Why is that a thought? And this is what I'm saying. We got to change our mindset. You got to change your mindset. You got this man in the phone as free meals. See, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Opportunities don't last always. Okay. And while you sitting up here playing this brother and dissing this brother, oh, trust and believe there's another woman somewhere praying for him. And when he gets to her and when they get to each other, your stupid just gonna be sitting there lonely. Again, playing games with whoever, hoping that he get himself together and get right when you could have had. What Kanye said, give it all up for a husband and some kids. You could have had that. But you see, here's the thing. You want what you want the way you want it. You feel like a good man can also be into some type of street thuggery, blah, blah, blah. Listen, that's not true. It's not true. The two can't go. I'm sorry. Listen, and I'm not saying good dudes aren't exciting. No, I'm not saying that at all. Listen, when me and my husband first started dating, oh my gosh. Okay. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is he's going to be excited. He's going to excite you in the areas you should be excited. He's not going to have you anxious, depressed, stressed out, ready to fight somebody. He's not going to have you excited in that way. He's going to have you excited about y'all future. He's going to be excited to have you having conversations with him. You're going to be excited about wanting to get to know him. That's something different. Okay? I know the fun of being with the boss and walking around with the dope boy. And I get it. I do. Okay? But also what I'm saying is it's 2023. We can't keep doing this. We have to wake up and do what's going to be better for our future and for our family and for our children. Because here's the thing, y'all go out here and have these kids with the dope boy and the pimp, and now you want Mr. Man of God to come in and I'm not saying he won't, because mine did. But all praises to the Most High only for the grace and the glory of God. Only. You, ma'am, sis cousin, may not be so lucky. And then let me explain to y'all what else happens when y'all mess with these niggas. You don't know how to treat a good man because you're not used to being treated right. You don't know how to just see. Here's the thing: you can yell at the dope boy, right? When he called you because you sent him this long behind text message and he talking all that BS in your ear. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm coming around. You can yell, you can holler, you can throw a punch, you can do all this stuff to the dope boy because he don't care that much. He know he gonna give you some dick and he gonna walk away and you'll be fine until the next time it's time for him to come and give you some dick. But if he loves you and he sees a future with you and you start acting all crazy, he gonna say, oh, hell no, I cannot deal with this forever and walk away from you. And that's what y'all don't understand. Yes, the dope boy's gonna kiss your ass while he has to, ma'am, just till he get his nut and he go back home to where he wanna be. That's what, where he want to be. Because if he wanted to be with you, that's where he would be. And just like we like to tell women, if a man cheat on you, it's not your fault. Guess what? You got with him. And if he is where he wants to be, then it is your fault. It is your fault because you keep sitting there waiting for him, sitting on the side of the bed with a wet and dry pockets. It is your fault. Listen, you cannot change a man. You can't. If by the grace of God, some miracle happened and he chooses to reform his ways, then all praises to the Most High, but even then you need to make him prove himself. But see, y'all will sign up for the nonsense. Sign up for the nonsense. Too deep for the shallow. They better wake up. They better put on some scuba gear. Y'all got to stop playing. Do you see what's going on with people? Do you listen? After this, maybe tomorrow, because it's a long documentary. I want y'all to Google died suddenly. Died suddenly. It was up on YouTube. They took it down, so now it's on this website. I was able to play it on my TV with my Apple Play. Okay, it's called "Die Suddenly." Y'all need to look at this. The devil is not playing, and he's using anybody who's willing to be used for his agenda. You've got, listen to me, ma'am, sis, cousin. You've got to get under the protection of a mighty man of God. You have to. And listen, for my single moms, I'm not saying run out here and get you a husband. Oh, because I got to be protected. I'm not saying that. But ma'am, sis, cousin, I implore you to start praying for that because there's nothing like the protection of a man. Nothing like it. So please, I implore y'all. And see, you will put Boaz in the friend zone and still expect him to show up like he still got potential with you. And he might for a while because he's a good guy. And he's trying to show you. You know what I mean? He might just be on his last rope with you, like, oh, maybe if I do this, it'll get her. Or maybe if I show her this, or maybe if she's, So he's still trying. And here's the thing. You won't give the one that's trying a chance. The one that's texting you, hey, boo, how you doing? The one that's sending flowers, the one that's Instacarting you. You won't give him a chance. The one that makes sure you eat every day. You won't give him a chance. But this nigga who only ring your phone when it's time for him to release, you babysit the phone waiting for him. The first ring, you picking it up. His text message don't even get to say delivered before you answering it back. But the one that care about you, the one that asks you, hey, boo, isn't it time for an oil change? The one that's going to take your car to AutoZone and change the windshield wipers. The one that's going to come and take your son to baseball and basketball and make sure he got snacks. You don't give two hells about this nigga. You'll put him in the friend zone and you'll laugh and kiki and caca with your girlfriends about how you playing him until you sit up here 40, 45, 50, and 60 shaking your ass on TikTok wanting some attention. You stupid. And there are 50 and 60-year-old women shaking their behinds on TikTok right now. Right now. And the young women hyping them up because they don't know better. These 20-year-olds don't know better. But you sit up here 60. It's a lady on TikTok now talking about a pastor's ex-wife, and I see why, you lust-ridden demon. Why are you showing your body for why? But anyway. And see, you put him in a friend zone, right? You put him in a friend zone. But then when you see him with his wife and his kids and they livingly happily ever after, now you want to come and try to destroy their home? How dare you, you trifling heifer? When you had every chance and opportunity, but now you want to come steal somebody else's happiness? How, please? You go over there and finish figuring it out with your 4, 5, 6 going on 7 baby daddies. You go, because you just... Let me read these comments. They're still smart enough to friend zone a man of substance. They know how to friend zone a man they're hosting. Listen, and I'm going to tell y'all something. This is what I would tell my brother. Bump that. Don't waste your time. Brothers and cousins, don't waste your time. Don't keep knocking on a door that's not going to open for you. Go knock on another door. It'll open for you. Leave her to her mess. And I know for women, I don't know how it works for men, but I know for women, a lot of times we just don't want to let go. We just believe that like one day. I don't know how it works for y'all, but please, brothers, especially if you know you a good man, you got your stuff together, you take care of your kids if you have any, or you don't have any children. You know what I'm saying? You know how to treat a woman with respect. You good to your mommy. If you know all this stuff about you, don't settle for less. Now hear me out. Confession time. When my husband met me, I don't have any qualms about saying that his mindset was more elevated than mine when it came to marriage and family. I grew up in a 2-parent household, okay? So he grew up seeing this. So his mindset was more elevated than mine, okay? So he already understood some things about marriage and family that I had not had to deal with, because despite having been divorced and married twice, I still had not had a substantial relationship to where these things had to be practiced, to where these things had to even be dealt with. I'll never forget, like, we first got married, we were all in the living room watching something, and I didn't want to watch it. So in my upbringing, I just removed myself from the situation. Y'all watching this in here? All right, I don't want to watch this. I'm going to go over here and watch that. My husband was livid. And I'm like, bro, what is the problem? Like, I'm just giving you your space to do what you want to do. Because in my still single mind, okay, you want to do that? You go do that. I'll go do this. And then we'll just get together when we're done. What's the problem? We still in the same house. What's the problem? This is what I'm thinking. But my husband at the time, understanding that quality time is not something that's planned. Quality time just happened. And he wanted some quality time with his wife. Whether it's watching TV, listening, whatever. He wanted quality time with his wife. Okay? And these are things that I just had not understood. They'll never friend zone a true bump. They won't. And it's sad. And I tried to friend zone my husband. And even though I had been praying for years, right, for a husband, for years to get married, been praying for it. Here this man come, he want to marry me. He's serious. He gonna, I know him. He know me. I know his family. And it only took us 6 months to get married. But let me say this, it's because I knew his family. Okay. I knew his family history. You gotta get to know people, and you gotta get to know what people say about other people. You know what I'm saying? You gotta check them rumors out, because one or two, okay, but if they saying something about you for a long time, nah, bro. No, I'm gonna believe it. I know some of y'all don't like Wendy Williams, but Wendy Williams been saying some stuff about people for years, and now it's starting to come out. Speaking of, if y'all have not watched the Jaguar Wright interview on YouTube, I implore you. TikTok and I think Instagram is flooded with clips of this interview. Okay, but she is bringing some truth out. So please, I implore you to go watch that interview. It's on YouTube. You can just Google Jaguar. It's spelled like the animal. Jaguar Wright with a W interview. It's something y'all should really check out. But even Cat Williams said it. Somebody say something about you for years and years and years. Yeah. I'm gonna assume it's true. I'm gonna just go ahead and take that L. So check out this man family. Is any rumors about them messing with kids? Is any rumors about them kidnapping folks? People in their family suddenly came up. You know, listen, y'all think I'm joking, but I'm not. I'm not playing, especially to my single moms. I'm not playing with y'all. Find out these men beating on their children. Where their kids at? How they treat their kids. Listen to me. If he got so much beef with his baby moms, I would be suspicious. I would be suspicious because, one, to actively hate someone, there has to be some kind of love there. And I would be worried about that. And two, how he's going to treat you is how he could potentially how he's going to treat her is how he could wind up potentially treating you. Pay attention to that. And I'm not going to lie, back in my immature days, if a man did get along with his baby mom, I wasn't interested because that made me feel insecure. I was a dummy. That made me feel like, oh, well, he might still have feelings for her. So I don't want to have anything to do with that. That was me being insecure. But the fact of the matter is, if he can have a decent relationship with his child's mother and be there for his kids, this is the kind of man you want. Ding, 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 ding. This is the kind of man we want. We want this. We like this. We need this. Because you know he knows how to communicate. You know he knows how to stay peaceful in times of confrontation. And y'all, as a, I'm gonna tell you like this. My advice: if you don't have any kids, don't get with anybody that has kids. It's a whole other world that you just have not been in. And for y'all that's dating and he got kids, examine the relationship with the child's mother. Just examine it. See how it goes. See how it affects you. See how it affects him. This is, that's a thing. Like when you marry a man that has children somewhere else, there's still another part of his heart that's out. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's another part of his heart that's not with you. It's with his children, which it should be. It's totally understandable. Okay. But you also have to understand there's another adult on the end. And this all, you know what I'm saying? This all becomes a part of your family once you marry into that. This is all your family now, and you have to deal with that. Okay? So let's be careful about who we put in, who we are putting in the friend zone. And don't give me that, oh, we'll be friends for now and see what happens. That's some bullcrap. And y'all stop stringing these dudes along. Stop stringing them along. That's not fair. Y'all treat good men so bad, and then they go out here and turn into hoes. And then y'all be the same ones talking about niggas ain't. No, ma'am. You ain't. And therefore, the people you deal with ain't. Because that's what you deserve. Because that's how you acting. In a day and time when Black women are looking for husbands left and right, because there wasn't a connection, because he didn't give you that adrenaline rush, because there isn't that feeling of true love that we were taught to look for, all of a sudden this man's not good enough. But you say he a man of God. You say he pray. He provide. He take care of you. He treat you with respect. He's not good enough though. It's because y'all are looking for fake and superficial adrenaline reactions. And it's not sustainable in life. I can't, I wouldn't be in a relationship where my husband's not coming home every night. Ma'am, sis cousin, my husband comes home every night. Be in the bed with me. I could not deal with a relationship where that was not a marriage, a marriage where that was not the case. But see, here's the thing, y'all can't even get to the marriage because these niggas don't want to marry y'all. They here for what they here for. And the one that wants to marry you, you don't want nothing to do with him. He's boring. Let me tell y'all something. And I don't like to, yes, I've been through some things. So I don't mind talking, but let me tell y'all something. When you go from the streets to stability, it is going to seem boring. It is. Ask anybody that's moved down here from the north. That's the first thing they say. It's so quiet. It's so boring. There's nothing to do. Ma'am, sis cousin, when you stop running them streets and you home, it's gonna get boring. Yes, it is. It's not high pace adrenaline. It's not that. You know what it is? It's stability. It's love. It's peace. It's peace. And sometimes peace can be mistaken for boredom. And sometimes abuse can be mistaken for excitement. Because if a person is not doing what they're supposed to be doing by you, they're abusing you. I know we just think of abuse as like, oh, hitting me, verbal abuse or whatever, but there's like emotional abuse. There's mental abuse. There's me telling you, okay, I'm coming, and I know you're waiting for me, and I never bother to show up. And then when I do show up, I show up empty-handed with nothing. That's abuse. And y'all keep taking it. Not only do you take it, you welcome it. And you accept it. And you look for it even more. Because what do they say? Shalom and shalom, Yaha. Drew Mills, shalom and shalom. Thank y'all for joining me. You take it, you accept it, and you look for more. Because what do you say? I want a man who can handle me. Are you a dog? Are you some kind of animal that you have to be handled? Are you a package? Are you an Amazon delivery that you have to be handled? What do you mean you want a man that can handle you? You shouldn't have to be handled. You should have enough respect, enough discipline, and enough obedience that the man shouldn't have to handle you. Yeah, one love. You when a person needs to be handled, it's because they're disorderly and they don't know how to act. And now see, the bums that you're attracted to, they'll put up with that. But the woman they got at home don't act that way. And they'll put up with it from you because they know they ain't got to stay there. And so now a good man comes along and he's like, nah, girl, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. And you can't figure it out. It's going to take for your mind to change to get from under this trap. And see, a lot of y'all be mistaken. Trying to think of another name. I need fake names. I really do. But y'all be mistaking these bums for y'all Boaz. And that ain't it, ma'am, sis cousin. It don't matter what kind of car he drives. Is he providing one for you? No, he's not. He won't even put gas in your car. You can't even call this man right now and get $40 for gas. Why are you wasting your time? And let me say this though. For those of y'all who were sitting there like, my man got money. Is he your man? Really? Really? Because if you're not married, you're single. If you're not married, you're single. If you are not married, you are single. I don't care if you got a boyfriend. I don't care who you shacking up with. I don't care about none of that. None of that matters. Because at the end of the day, it's about what's real and what's concrete. What can I put my hands on? If something happens to me, can I call this man? If I got a flat tire, who are you calling to come and get you? Or even I'll accept a AAA. Okay. I can call him and I know he'll call AAA, or I know he'll call an Uber and come and get me. One thing my dad told me, a man should either be able to fix it with his hands or pay for it to get fixed. So, brother, if you're not coming to fix the car, you're sending a tow truck and an Uber to come get me. See, there's nothing wrong with having standards. Y'all just keep running into people who don't love you enough to meet your standards. And that's what you keep forgetting, because he might do it for the next chick. I've seen stories where women have been in relationships for 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, and he wound up marrying somebody in 6 months because it wasn't for you. And that's what y'all have to realize. Sometimes it's not that the nigga is a bum. He just not for you, but you willing to let him play in your little cootie cat. So he's going to while he can. He be for everybody, and they be talking about that's their man. Everybody. These men is hoes too. No shade to the brothers that's trying, but it's some men hoes out here, and y'all have to be aware of this behavior. And listen to me. Set standards to what's the word? Like the flower, like sift out the losers. That's why you have standards. You don't have standards just to brag. You have standards because I'm trying to go somewhere. This is where I want to go, and this is what I want it to look like when I get there. When I prayed about my marriage, I was very specific. Lord, this is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want these are the characteristics that I want my husband to have. And I was very honest with God. And I think that's y'all problem. Even in every area of life, y'all won't be honest with God. Y'all playing pity patting like he don't know already. Like he didn't create you. Like he didn't foresee this before you were put in your mother's womb. Like he didn't know that this day would come. Like he don't know what you like and what you don't like. He know if you like him dark skin, light skin, tall, short. He knows all of that. All he waiting for you to do is tell him, come to him, and keep up your end of the deal, ma'am, sis, cousin. Stop messing with these bums. Listen, your house is not an entertainment hut. Your house is not a good time shack. Your house should not even be on the availability list of places to date. Why are y'all letting these niggas come to y'all houses? This is what I don't understand. First time. The first time. You already know what he... If you are not ready to have sex with a man, this is why I tell my daughters, if you are not ready to have sex with a man, you should never be behind closed doors with him. You should never. There's no reason to be behind closed doors alone with a man who you are not ready to be sexually intimate with. Period. Point blank. Big purr. Full stop. I don't care what nobody has to say. If y'all would listen, then there would be no rape. There would be no rape because you wouldn't be in a position to be assaulted. I'm telling you what I know from my own personal experience. Because the time a stranger sexually assaulted me, I was in a room behind closed doors alone with said stranger. So I'm not quoting some stuff that I heard online. I'm speaking to y'all out of my heart. I need y'all to understand. I'm scared for my sisters. We are so lost. And these brothers are trying. They are trying to get their way back home. But how are they going to build themselves up if we out here playing the harlot, still with wanton necks, haughty, thinking we're Babylon? I'll be a queen forever. No, you won't. In fact, your destruction is coming in 5, 4, 3, 2. Please hear me. Like, I want to prevent the heartache and hurt that I have experienced for someone else. And listen, even if you already been through it, I want to encourage you to share your testimony to prevent the hurt and the heartache for these sisters coming up. Because let me tell you something, man, they're not playing with what we was playing with. They not in the 90s. I took drinks from the bar, sure, but I wasn't worried about fentanyl. I wasn't worried about dying. My homie passed me a cup. I'm not worried about what's in the cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are not playing on the same playing field that we are playing on. Yes, all praises that the Most High brought me out of that life. People are dying. They're disappearing. Human trafficking is real. And yes, it's happening to kids, but it's not just happening to kids. Sisters and cousins, y'all going out with these dudes. You don't drive your own car. You let them pull up to your house. Hell, you let them in your house with your kids. Not knowing that they probably not there for you. They might be there for the kid. But you don't know. Because you're just so desperate and thirsty. Have you ever seen, okay, I have a dog. Well, you know we have dogs, right? But one of our dogs just had babies. She had like 7 babies, okay? She breastfeeds them, right? And if you've ever breastfed, even if you've ever been a breastfeeding mom, like, you know how serious the thirst is, right? Okay, but let's take the dog because, you know, dogs just have no inhibition. So anything I put in front of her, when she's thirsty, she's gonna drink it. She's gonna drink the water. Sometimes I give her whatever. She's gonna drink it and she's gonna slurp it up till it's all gone and she's gonna want some more. Why? Because she is thirsty and desperate. Ma'am, sis, cousin, that's how you act when you put up with this bull from these niggas. You act thirsty and desperate. You slurp it up and then you turn around and say, please, can I have another? How do you say, please, can I have another? You won't cut him off. You won't block his number and you keep giving it up. You're asking for the thing that you say you don't want anymore. You can't keep doing that. Your words and your actions need to line up, ma'am, sis, cousin. So if you're saying, hey, I want to get married, the next time that you meet someone and y'all get to conversating on the phone, marriage should come up. No pressure, just letting you know I'm dating with the intention of being married to whoever that turns out to be. If you're not dating with the intention of being married, sir, we have nothing else to talk about. I'm not saying you got to say that last part. I'm saying the last part for you. If they are not dating with the intention of marrying someone, it doesn't have to be you, but marriage is not their intention, then y'all have nothing else to discuss because all he's going to do is lead you to a road of fornication and destruction. That's all he's going to lead you down because all he looking for is some coochie. He not looking for a marriage. He don't even want a baby mom. He don't want no commitment. He don't want nobody asking him no questions. But you want a commitment. You want to be married. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to fall in love. You're going to give it up. And then when he don't return what you want it, even though he told you multiple times. And I know how did he tell you? He told you in his behavior. He told you in his behavior. Has he been treating you like someone that wants to be committed? This man won't even answer the phone for hours after you call. Sometimes you can't get an answer till the next day. And don't you dare call after 8 o'clock because that's when he blocks you and you go straight to voicemail because he's at home with whoever he want to be with. But you love him. You love him. And there's some man that's right there on the other side of you. Or maybe up the road ahead. I'm not going to say he's right there. Maybe he's up the road ahead, but you can't see him because you're too busy focused on this bum, right? There's another man waiting to do right by you. Wanting to do right by you. Praying to God for the opportunity to do right by you. And only you. And only you. but you will throw him away because he's boring. What do you think a housewife who has staff sits in the house and does all day? Sometimes they be bored. And here's the thing. Here's why I brought that up. Because y'all will pray for things. Y'all will say you want things, but the components of those things that you need to learn throughout your life, you resist. You resist how to keep peace in the home. You resist how to be a good woman. You resist obedience. And see, if you won't even be obedient to God, what kind of God would he be to send you one of his faithful prophet servant kings for you to abuse him? God he ain't gonna do that. Why? You want to be raggedy, you gonna be raggedy with the rest of them hellions. But don't you come over here treating this prophet of God with that bull crap. And that's what be making me it's some good men out here. And they talk to me, they talk to my husband. We know they're looking for wives. But y'all just caught up on the foolishness, caught up on what's popping, what everybody doing on TikTok. Y'all get caught up in these pictures. These people posing for these pictures. You get caught up in, and this is a quote from something, I forgot what I was reading. You get caught up in a highly curated highlight reel of people's lives. Somebody booped the images. No, guys, for real. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm learning my buttons. Yes, boot them. Get them out of here, please. Get their mind right or something. Thank you, sir. And, I know we live in this ultra-modern world where they're lying to you and telling you that men are equal to women, and now men can be women. I just read the definition to y'all earlier. So I know, for some reason we feel like we can skirt God's laws, but no. You can't, ma'am, sis, cousin. Your desire will be for your husband. You can't, listen, as much as y'all try to sit here and I don't need a man, please. The ones that sit up there talking about they need a man is the ones that's taking a walk of shame at 2 a.m. or the nigga getting up out their bed at 2 a.m. Okay, please. Miss me with that. That I don't need a man is just you saying, hey, I'm too stubborn to fix myself. I think I'm too good to have to change for anybody else. So I'm just going to act like I'm untouchable. These career women, I'm getting a bag. I'm focused on my grind. Ma'am, sis, cousin, that is not natural. It's not natural. Don't get me wrong. I want nice stuff. And yes, when I was single, yes, I was focused on that. But to make that your life goal, that's not natural. And you still are getting the DICK from somewhere. So stop saying you don't need a man. Just be honest and say, hey, I'm messed up in the head right now and I need to get myself together. Because that's the truth. Because as long as you are taking pipe, you are not going to sit here and tell me that you don't need a man. It don't make sense. The two don't go. If you don't need a man, then you would be celibate. You would be celibate living however you live. I can't imagine. But I'm sure there are some that are doing it. Hats off to you. But so stop misleading. And this is what I don't like. This is why it's a problem. See, it wouldn't be a problem if y'all would just be in your homes to yourselves with the foolishness, like going through whatever you going through. And maybe not propagating it. But no, y'all will propagate it as if you're happy. And this is what's so sinister about the whole thing. You're sitting over there miserable, contrite, angry, broken, desperate for someone to love you. And instead of you coming forth and saying, y'all, I'm broken. I need God's help. I want a man, but I don't know what to do. Instead of y'all coming forth and saying that, y'all will get on Beyonce's internet and talk about how you don't need a man and men ain't. And you know, as long as you got your career and as long as you can get to your bag, then you fine. But LaFonz is in the bedroom drinking a 40. And if you don't know who LaFonz is, I'm taking your black card if you don't know who LaFonz is. Matter of fact, if anybody can somebody tell me who LaFonz is, I got something for you. If you can tell me who LaFonz is, I got something for you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, text messages, your phone is you're constantly texting, looking for attention, but you get up here and lie to people telling me, I don't need nobody. That's a lie. Stop lying. You lonely as hell and you're bitter. That's why you sit up here talking about you don't need nobody, because you bitter. Because you won't do the work to improve yourself. The happy days, heathen. You won't do the work to improve yourself. No. Oh, y'all, no, not the Fonz. LaFonz. Think about it. LaFonz, not the Fonz. What was I saying? I don't even remember what I was saying. But yeah, like, we gotta pull it together, y'all. As women, we have to pull it together. Oh, here's what I was saying. The bitterness for people who can see, for those of us with discernment, we can see. We can see through all that. The anger, the discontentment, the unhappiness. We can see through all that, right? And it takes God. I'm not even gonna say age. I really think it just takes God opening your eyes to allow you to see behind the lights and the flash that they use for socials. Like, if y'all could see this setup here, we got lights all over the place. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a setup. It's made to look this way. I put on makeup. I did my hair. I don't wake up like this. I mean, it's not a lot different. You know, this is all my hair. You know what I'm saying? So if I was misleading you, I would use the lights. I would use a filter. I would have the 42-inch bust down with the baby hairs, which, can we kill baby hairs in 2023? Please, I just want to add that. But I would have all that, right? I would have all that, and I'll be sitting here lying to you like a lot of these sex workers do. And that's another thing. These sex workers, they get on God's internet and say whatever they want to say. They promote and propagate working in the sex industry to these young ladies. And unfortunately, there's not enough parental guidance, and there's not enough women that's not scared to get on here and say, no, don't do that. That's crazy as hell. They're misleading you. And then those of us who are, we getting shadow banned, we getting blocked. I can put a clip up on TikTok and it take like a week for anybody. It's so frustrating. It is very frustrating. But if I was up here with my yitties all out, if I was up here twerking to the latest challenge, I'd have millions of views and hundreds and thousands of likes. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm not just saying this about me. I listen to different, I watch different broadcasts on YouTube, and the disparity between the views and the likes when it comes to truth content, it's very telling. It's very telling. And here's the thing, like, you can't avoid the zeitgeist, if you understand what I'm the zeitgeist, like the the being of the time, the state of the time that we're in. You cannot avoid the fact that we are looking at the end of the world. I think anybody with any kind of sense, knowledge would tell you that yes, this baby is winding down. This age that we are in is winding down. Things are about to change. And the fact of the matter is, you can't escape that, whether it be for good or for evil. And also, the God that we serve is the same today, yesterday, and forever. His word doesn't change. His requirements don't change. His laws don't change. He does not change in his expectations of us, whether it be 1923 or 2023. Ma'am, sis, cousin, I was listening to a speaker today. No, I know exactly who it was. I was listening to a Ben Shapiro clip. Now, Ben Shapiro is a white man, and he is, kind of right conservative. However, I want y'all to start listening to more of these conservative pundits because they are actually dropping gems that are leaving clues. Ben Shapiro said, and he was talking to a black person because they were arguing, it's racism that's keeping black people down, and it's racism that has black men in jail and all this other stuff. Ben Shapiro kindly pointed out that it's actually a cultural problem. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything, but listen to this. He said it's a cultural problem. He said, if it's not a cultural problem, can you please explain how come black prison rate, black murder rates, black drug addictions started to escalate in the 1960s when you see the rise of the civil rights movement? After this. So after the civil rights movement, after we can ride the bus now, after we're integrated, after we don't have to send our kids to black schools only, after we can now integrate with the white folks, now all of a sudden, black people have come into all these problems. Now we got black on black crime. Now we got drug addiction. We got single parent home. Now all of a sudden, black people have all these problems. Here you basically have a white conservative man saying that black people were better before integration. He said it, I didn't. Y'all don't want to listen to black people when we say it, because I've been saying that. We were better off before integration. And now this white man is saying it. And y'all might still say, oh, well, no, facts don't lie. Numbers don't lie. The facts are not lying. And please pay attention to what's going on around us. Black women are the only race of women who consistently and persistently have a problem with marriage. I can't even say the same for our Latino sisters. Women of Judah, women of Zion. Y'all don't want to we don't want to even recognize the curses that we're under. So you refuse to acknowledge your past mistakes. You refuse to repent for your sins and the sins of your ancestors. Because when you refuse to acknowledge, that's what you're doing. The women of Zion are stricken in their heads and in their secret places. Why? Because they were haughty, they were wanton. Now there's a whole class action lawsuit for relaxers causing cancer. Who is involved in that? You think it's any white women in there? You think it's any white women suing Cream of Nature? Because no, it's only us. It's only us. Deuteronomy 28 blues. Exactly. It's only us. We are the ones who had to go and strip our hair of its natural texture in order to assimilate into this society. And now we're dying. Now we got fibroids. Now we're having miscarriages. Now we can't have babies. Us. But we won't accept and we won't repent. And this is what it's like really like kind of arresting me about us, sisters and cousins. We won't repent. We refuse to accept accountability, even about the sins in the Bible that God himself is telling you, listen, this is what y'all used to do. This is why I did this to y'all. If y'all stop doing this, then you won't have to worry about it no more, but you won't even acknowledge that? Really? You too good to say, yes, that's true. We did that. You care more about your foolish pride than you care about your daughters and their daughters. You do. Because if you didn't, you would be confessing your sins and looking for how to be obedient so that we can change this thing. Listen, sisters and cousins, my heart hurts for y'all because I fear that so many of y'all are going to be left behind because of your haughtiness and your stubbornness and this false sense of elevation that I don't know where you got it from. Look at how the world thinks about you, ma'am, sis, cousin. Look at who they put in front of you to applaud. And as much as you may say, oh, it's black people that don't like Candace Owens, no, let me tell you what they do, okay? They purposely put certain programming on certain frequencies. They know when niggas get in the car, they turn into the FM hip hop station. And when you turn to this station, what commercials do you hear? Nothing but commercials for what? The freaking accident lawyers, and just frivolous stuff. What's going on at the club, what's coming on TV, stuff like that. But ma'am, sis, cousin, if you even go just to the news station, it can still be on FM. But like here in Atlanta, if you go to 95.5, that's the news station that they play on the radio. Commercials are so different. You got commercials for banks. You got commercials for health insurance, for advanced health care. Okay, some stuff that you hadn't even heard about on freaking 107.9. They talking about it on freaking 95.5. Investment companies. This is the kind of stuff that they want. And whether you, I think at this point, we should all be aware of how they do the programming. Okay, because there have been songs that I've hated, but they played it over and over and over again to where you find yourself singing it. Like, I hate this song. Why is it in my head? Because they keep playing it over and over and over again. So guess what? If they really wanted us to get the good sis Candace Owens message, they would play it for us over and over again, but they don't. And I know she married a white man. I know she did. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of us need to hear what she's saying. It doesn't change that. They don't want you to hear what she's saying. They don't want you to hear what's going to elevate and uplift you. And the fact of the matter is, you don't want to hear it. Because if you did, you'd be going to look for it. And that's what would be prevalent on the internet. Not Cardi B and her. You don't want it. That's why you don't have it. You don't want the positive influence. You don't want nobody calling you out. You don't want nobody to tell you shame on you. You shouldn't be having kids out of wedlock. Why not? You want your daughter to do the same? This is what I don't understand. Y'all will see yourselves make the mistakes. You'll see yourself go through the hell, but you won't put your pride to the side enough to confess your sins, even if it's to your own daughter, to save her life. Listen, I tell my kids, please don't do what I did. Don't do it like that. Don't do that. You should be doing this. And we talk about it. They ask me questions. Was mama a fool? Yes, child, I was crazy. I don't know what I was thinking. Because it's not about me anymore. I am grown. I have made my decisions. I continue to make my decisions daily. But for the most part, my mindset is pretty, set. Like, set. This is why when the colonizers came in with the Christian education, they didn't bother with the adults. if you go back to some accounts of when they started taking us from Africa and bringing us over here, it was mostly children, 20 and under. It's the kids. And you don't even care enough to save them. You too busy caring about yourself. You too busy trying to be something that you're not. Let's keep it funky. You're too busy trying to be something that you're not to save your children. Forget saving yourself. Save your children. Stop messing with these niggas for the sake of your son. Is that what you want your son doing when he grow up? You want him running around treating women like that? Let me tell y'all something. These young girls ain't playing these days. They is shooting niggas that break their heart. They are shooting niggas. Are you not watching the news? These girls ain't playing. This ain't the 90s. It ain't even the 80s. And I'm not saying this stuff didn't go on back then, but this time that we live in, nah, pimping. No, ma'am, sis cousin, you are totally in the wrong. And if you don't correct it, hell is where you will open your eyes. And I have to tell you that. Because if I don't tell you, then I'm accountable for it. Okay, so I'm telling you. Ain't nothing in these streets worth your soul. Nothing. Because guess what? You out here thinking you the hot girl and you this and you that. Let you get locked up. Let something happen. Let you get hurt. They will replace you with the next girl in a minute. And the streets will forget your name. They will forget you. You will be persona non grata. Do you know how many people were when the last time you heard anything about Milli Vanilli? Vanilla Ice? Paula Abdul? Shaka Khan? I mean, you understand what I'm saying? People have their hot moments, but life goes on. And the only way to ensure that your hot moment has any substance is if it's a moment from God. If it's God directed and God led. Okay. This hot moment on these broadcasts is for the Lord. Only this is going to last. All that stuff I did in the streets, hell, most of them people probably ain't alive. Or they in jail. And that wreaks a havoc on your psyche. And that's another thing I want to, sis cousin. When these niggas tell y'all they've been to jail, that should be a yellow flag. I'm not going to say it should be a red flag because that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not a reason to not date someone just because they've been in jail. I'm not going to say that. But you need to find out what he went for. Was it jail or was it prison? That's the first question. Okay. First question. Second question, how long was he there? How long was he there? And also, what was he in there for? What was he in there for? And third, was he gay for the stay? And this is where your discernment may have to kick in. Was he gay for the stay? And then, you know what I'm saying? You got to decide if you want to deal with that. Ma'am, sis cousin, me personally, once a man has lost his virginity in that area, he's no good to me. But you need to know that. And also, is this a behavior that could continue? You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to learn a person's habits in their past. Did he go to jail for shoplifting? Is he going to shoplift again? Am I going to have to worry about this again? He got locked up for selling drugs. Maybe he's just not that smart of a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? You got to decide if you're going to deal with this. Did this person have a drug problem? Did he have a heroin habit? I talked to this lady, and just by chance, we was at the nail salon. Well, I was at the nail salon. My nails tag. I go to a black girl. And there's another lady there. And she told us how her husband was addicted to heroin for 5 years, and she stayed with him. And I had to give her props for that because I don't know if I could have handled that. Because he was in and out of jail still. Like, he went through the addiction, and she went through it with him. You know, praise God, he's clean and sober now. All praises. But like, hats off to that sister. Like, I really had to give her props because I don't know if I could have handled that. And you got to figure this stuff out. You got to figure out if you can handle a person's problems. Does he drink? How much does he drink? Does he then drink and drive? Like, is he a responsible drinker? Is he given to too much wine? These are things you need to figure out. This is the getting to know someone. How is he with his finances? While he's out whining and dining, are his lights on at his place? You know what I'm saying? Is his car note paid? Like, is y'all hiding from the repo people? These are the things that you need to figure out. These are the things that are going to make a difference in your life. But, ma'am, sis, cousin, let me just say, if you didn't hear anything else I said, it starts with repentance and changing your mind. Because until you change your mind, you're still going to keep looking for the same raggedy material. And like I said before, I hate when people say, oh, that's what you attract. No, wrong. You attract all types. This is what you chose to entertain. And that's why there's a filter process. We're going to have a couple conversations on the phone. And through these conversations, I'm going to figure out if we even need to go further. Stop experiment. Y'all be experimenting. Here's the thing. Y'all be experimenting, knowing that you want to be married and knowing that you're lonely. And that is dangerous. Or even, oh, I'm lonely. I'm going to just go out on this date. When you're lonely, that is not the time to date. When you're lonely, go to your mama house. Go hole up at a friend's house. Stay away from men when you are feeling lonely. Please, because this is when you make desperate choices. And that sex you gave away, you cannot get it back. That's the thing about once you give yourself to a man, he will always and forever be able to say that he had you. No, and I know somebody not gonna like this, but I'm sorry. No matter how many times you try to, oh, I'm a new virgin. I renew my virginity. I'm a secondary virgin. That's a bunch of stop it. Stop it. And I don't mean to discourage anyone, but I mean to encourage everyone who's still a virgin to stay a virgin. Or listen, if you've been celibate and you on that road, stay on that road. Trust me, it'll be worth it when you get married. You know, one of my biggest regrets is that I was not a virgin when I got married. I wish I would have been. I would have loved to experience that. So please, ma'am, sis, cousin, even if it's too late for you, it may not be too late for somebody coming up behind you. And hear me. I'm not saying not to be careful with who you give your testimony to. That's not what I'm saying at all, because people can and will, and I've had it happen to me. They will take your testimony and turn it against you and, you know, bully you with it and make fun of you and all this other stuff. So you just have to be up on your discernment and be, know that, okay, this is God wants me to have this conversation with this person. This is someone, that I've been sent to talk to. Okay, you can't just be telling everybody everything. Go back and watch it again. Slowly but surely, I'm letting my past out as it becomes relevant, and also in hopes of saving someone else's life, or even just saving you from some misery, some torment. I can confess to y'all, regrets are a beast. And there was maybe about 3 or 4 months where in my prayer life, I just dealt with my regrets. I just had to deal with them, and I had to lay them before God. And yeah, you can here's some true tea. You can repent, you can turn away. But that inkling of regret is always there. It's always going to be there. There can be a moment when something happens and you'll be like, dang, if I wouldn't have. There can be an opportunity that you missed because you didn't have a paper or you didn't do something. Dang, if only I would have. Man, I wish I would have. There's nothing you can do to go back and change the hands of time. All you can do is try to use your past for better in your present and in your future. And that's all I'm trying to do. Open my book and talk to y'all about life. And hopefully through the practical application of biblical knowledge, you will avoid some of the mistakes that I've made, or, you know what I'm saying, improve your life for the better. There's always another level to elevate, and that's what we don't get. There's always, somewhere else to go. There's always something else to do. I feel it right now in our house. Like, I've been really in prayer like the past 2 or 3 days. So I feel like, okay, it's time for us to take there's another level coming. There's something we gotta elevate now. Please, ma'am, sis, cousin, I feel like the most powerful weapon that we as women have is our emotional intelligence. It is our emotional sensitivity. And I feel like that is to be used in prayer and for the betterment of our families. If you do not, ma'am, sis, cousin, when you wake up in the middle of the night, just lay your hand on your husband and just ask God to reveal his heart to you. Just ask him, please help me to pray for what my husband needs. And God, even if, I can't know, because maybe God doesn't want you to know everything. Lord, even if I can't know, please help him. Your prayers for your husband should be as earnest as your prayers for yourself. Y'all that's out here praying for future husbands, pray for them. Lord, please, can my husband be like this? And I want that. And here's the thing, you don't have to sift through your list. Okay. I know, when you talk to people, they're like, okay, well, if you have, 50 things on your list, you need to cut it down. No. Don't do that when you talk to God. Tell God everything you want and then let him sift through it. You understand what I'm saying? You might want somebody that's tall, but you may have to exchange height for some kind of sensitivity. You just you know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. So be honest in everything and tell him everything. Don't hide anything, because then when he bring you a man that's everything but, you'll be like, but did you ask? And I don't mean to oversimplify it, but it really is that simple. And again, this disservice that has been done to us by not teaching us the truth about our relationship with God also makes it hard for us to understand the truth about our relationship with our families, right? God is our heavenly father. Our earthly father is supposed to be an image of that. Okay. But a lot of us didn't have earthly fathers present to feel that provision, that protection, and that love that comes from a man. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed to say this. Growing up with a single mother, you're just not going to get that. You're not going to get that. And I really think that contributes to the feelings of insecurity that a lot of kids have. It's just not the same. I remember my husband went out of town and my daughters, now listen, me and my daughters, we've been through some stuff. Okay, we done lived in the hood. We've been through some stuff. But my husband had went out of town and we were locking up the house. And she was like, I wish daddy was here. I just don't feel safe. And it was like eye-opening to me, because I never, she's like maybe 14, 15 at the time. And I never thought that they had even noticed. I never thought that, you know what I'm saying? It's something that registered with them, but it does. Oh, it does. And they may not always have the ability to articulate and verbalize these things with us, but it affects them. And ma'am, sis, cousin, it's affecting you. It's affecting your behavior. It's affecting the energy that you give off. It is. And let me tell y'all something. Avoid angry men. There are some men out there that are just angry at women, just like there are women that are angry at men. You cannot, if someone is, angry and they have some deep-seated anger, you're not going to alleviate that. You're not going to fix that. That is a job only for the Most High. We like to focus on girls with daddy issues, but there are men with mommy issues. Okay. So, my sisters, y'all have to start paying attention. And you have to be willing to reject the worldly. And until you're willing to reject the glitz and the glamour, then you're not going to find anything of substance. The gold may be glittery, but what's under it? When you wipe the gold away, what's under it? You know what I'm saying? Is there anything of substance under there, or does the gold just all fly in the wind? And with a lot of these men that y'all are choosing to make these investments and these commitments to, there's nothing there. They're not going to hold you down. They are not even trees planted by the water that have had time to take root. They're not. Y'all messing with little baby saplings, and then you wonder why you can't get anything to stick, why nothing will last. Some of these men are just not at the right emotional maturity level. And instead of you realizing that and saying, like, okay, you know, it's time to move on, you'll sit there and make a mess out of his life and yours. Ma'am, sis, cousin, it's time for us to uphold the standard. And yes, it starts with the men, but in terms of generational change, it has to start with the women. Because we're the mothers, we're the teachers. While our husbands are out providing, right? We are supposed to be leading the children. We are supposed to be teaching the children. We do Bible study and homeschool. The beginning of the day. We start homeschool with prayer. Bible study. We talk. My husband enforces the lessons throughout the day, yes. But as far as learning how to pray and all this, we do that. I teach them that in homeschool. So it's up to us to change our future generations. You understand what I'm saying? We are nourishing the future. Yes, the men are giving us the right direction for the present, and they are the leaders of us. Okay. And so for that information that they give us, now it's our job to take it and give it to our children. Okay, who in turn will also mimic that model. Y'all give it up for Monologue McGod in the building. The head of the house of Mono. How you gonna be there?
What it is, shot folk?
How much? Show okay? I know you's up there listening. Y'all believe I almost didn't marry him? Oh Lord. I don't know where I would be. Lost. I'd be out here listening to somebody else talk about me. What's up, boo? All right, so yeah, I just wanted to talk to y'all about that. We're gonna talk about this some more, of course. But because it's a thing. And I really want y'all to stop doing this. Let's choose better. Stop friend zoning your good thing. Okay. Y'all want to take all the heathens out and leave the good ones at home. And that's not, that's not what's popping. Tanya, shalom and shalom, sis. Thank you for joining me. Drew Mills. Oh, Drew said it was Hatton. There go Big Art. Oh, see, y'all just wait for him. Okay, he here now. Go ahead. They want to hear from you. Go ahead. He ain't got nothing to say. Okay. To wrap up, where the kids?
Jarrell, what going on, King? Shalom up. Shalom.
Where the kids? You ain't bring them.
They with their brother, man.
Oh, see, yeah, they big brother here, so they ain't paying me no attention right now.
Shalom, shalom. Going on.
Thank you, Tanya. I love you too. All right, so y'all, because we got to wrap up. We got like 6 minutes. If y'all have not subscribed to YouTube already, please do. It's at Monologue McGad. Let me pull it up here. Oh, hold on. I missed a question. Sis, if you ain't marry him, who else is going to be my righteous marriage goals? Oh, thank you. All praises to the Most High. Yes, I think this is one of the best decisions I ever made. So you can follow the lovely, oh so sexy, here it is, oh so powerful at Monologue McGad. He's on IG, Facebook. I'm trying to get him on TikTok, but he ain't going.
He's on TikTok.
You are? You don't be doing nothing.
I don't.
But he there, y'all. Okay, he's on. He got a page on the TikTok. I think that's what he was trying to say. Okay. Also, if you have not, please download the Messiah TV app. I do air there live Thursdays 8 to 10. So please download the Nasai TV app. Don't forget to follow Spirit Filled Israel. They will be coming back soon with their weekly Bible studies.
Yes, we're about to do a new series too, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Wrapping up.
Okay. All right. I'm going to wrap it up now because my husband does have some words he wants to leave y'all with. Thank you so much, Jarrell. Thank you for the support. And I'm going to give it over to my love again.
Yo, check this out, man. I just want to encourage all of y'all, Sarala, man. Hey, man, it's not time to tuck our tail, man, and hide and run, man. It's time to lead with love, but be bold. You know, it's time to put our faith in the forefront, man. And that doesn't mean like fussing with people, social media. It doesn't mean cussing folks out. I mean sharing that truth, you know what I'm saying? But of course, let our word, the Bible scripture tells us to let our words be seasoned with salt, man, to walk in these fruits, um, to be the example. I just feel led to say that, man, because even like today, I mean, I posted a post and one of the sisters is like, oh, please teach me. I don't even know what questions to ask. She want to talk. Then another brother just posted a whole post and he only tagged me in it. Just asking, like, man, I see this movement of people saying we the true Jews, like where this come from and this and this and that. Listen, man, the Israelite community is not going to shrink. It's going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. The dry bones are coming back to life, man. And it's time that we be a true example. It's time to put our faith in the forefront. It's time for us to actually live what we're preaching. At least if you're gonna be screaming at folks and cutting folks out and with the whoop, bro, at least be living this thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be dogging folks out, man, about bro, you ain't supposed to eat that. Then don't be sneaking no bacon on the side. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, it's time to put our walks on the forefront, man. In church, I used to say a saying. It says sometimes our lives is the only Bible that some people will ever read, man. And it's time to, you know what I'm saying, people watching. People, yeah, it might have took some. I know a lot of people when the whole Kanye thing was happening, when the Kyrie thing was happening, you had two different groups. You had some Israelites like, man, why y'all boosting them up? Why y'all, why? Oh, now everybody won't listen to them. We've been saying this since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it don't matter, bro. The Most High use whoever the heck he want to use. And even if it's just an alley-oop, if it just made a whole bunch of people now question, I wonder where they even get this from. Even if they think Kyrie crazy, like, man, please, Kanye, we the real Jews, man, please. Even they just think he crazy, but it just makes them even decide to ask a question. Where did he even get that from? Then you can go down. All right, let me show you where he got this from. Listen, man, it's time to be on the forefront, y'all. It's time to because the people coming. The harvest is plentiful. The laborers are few, man. Let's go out here and labor. Let's go out here, man, and do this for the Most High, man. Let's for His glory. Let's be used for His glory. Let's be instruments, man, to bring the lost sheep of Israel home, man. One plant of one water, but it's the Most High that gives the increase, man. So just want to encourage everybody on that on today, man. To let's go forth, man, and be a light in dark places, in every place. Because social media is a dark place, so let's be a light, man. And all praises to the Most High.
All right, yes, planting seeds are pouring water on them. All praises. I hope everybody put they work clothes on and let's get into it because I'm telling you, this show is rapidly winding up and we need them 144 still because I'm not trying to be in this much longer. All right. So on behalf of the House of Mono, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I am at the wife of Mono. If the Lord should lay it on your heart to please send me a little seed. Listen, these cameras and stuff, they cost money. I want to buy more cameras, but I need to raise more money. So please, 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 if the Lord lays it on your heart, drop a little something in the Cash App. All praise to the Most High. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. We gotta go. We love you. Good night.